Hi. Let's see. It's 8:55 in the morning, August 23rd, Sunday. Just got back from a 3-mile walk. Felt great. And like usual, I've noticed it's like right around the same part of my walk, I'll start to just ideas just fire, 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 fire. And it's like, oh my God, it's almost like when you have a dream and you're like, oh my God, like when you first wake up, don't forget this, write it down, or, hold on to those thoughts because they're important. So yeah, I did. I went pee right away because that's always what I gotta do right when I get home. I would have actually walked longer if I didn't have to pee. But as soon as I was done, I'm like, write this down, because it's so important. And then diary about it. I wanted to do maybe not even a diary, but like a video for people, because it's so important. This is like what I learned from my hypnotherapist recently, is like, if you have valuable information that you like feel will help somebody, like put aside your embarrassment or your vulnerability, like fucking share it. It's valuable. So I'm learning more and more about that as I'm getting clarity more and more every day. It's like, if you have, anything that can help somebody, just do it, especially if that's in your heart. Anyway, my thoughts were, right now in quarantine, during this pandemic, if it's even crossed anyone's mind that maybe alcohol should not be in my life, it's the time to do it. It's the best. Like, COVID has seriously saved my life. Like, not COVID itself, obviously, but this whole pandemic, this whole scenario we're all in, like, I was actually looking at a diary from January, and I said in that diary, like, if I were suicidal, I'd be in front of a train, like yesterday. It was a really, really, really dark time, and that was, January. That was the very beginning of 2020. And so, the end of March, end of March, I was drinking, my life away, because, here I was already depressed, but I had a few jobs to like keep me going, and then once that's gone, it's like, fuck. So, yeah, I was thinking of all these reasons, and it doesn't matter if you consider yourself someone who battles alcoholism or not. It's more about getting clarity and control back in your life, and relieving that anxiety, because obviously even someone who isn't normally anxious is feeling a bit anxious about now, or has been for months, and doesn't know how to do anything about it. So I've been kind of documenting my entire journey, just because I'm a data nerd, like. And I've also been one to journal. I've journaled since I was like 11 years old. I enjoy it. And I stopped for a long time, mostly due to Facebook. I felt like, okay, I could always go back and see 2006, what I was up to, and 2010 and whatever. So I really slowed it down. But now, going on this journey, I thought it was really important to document as much as I possibly could, whether it's taking a picture of myself every day, or a picture of nature every day, or doing something, so for me, my bottom was like the end of April. Like, once my family started to notice, like, you are just different, like, what is up with you? I was like, you know what, I've been thinking I might have an issue for a while, and just alcohol is not for me anymore. It's not alcohol has never helped anybody with anything. Like, a lot of people think, oh, it's helped me talk to people. I'm one of those people, because I have social awkwardness, social anxiety. It doesn't help, it doesn't. Maybe in that situation right then and there, it's a crutch, it's a crutch. So that's why right now is a great time to just stop, because you don't have to socialize right now with anybody. That's a whole other chapter, but anyway, for me, I just felt like I was a mess and I had no control. in my life anymore. Whether it's in relationships with my family, relationships with my ex-boyfriend, my relationship with myself. Like, who am I anymore? I don't even know. I think a lot of people are having a loss of sense of identity. Like, what am I good for? So there's a depression. Like, you feel helpless, you feel uninspired, unmotivated. Money is a huge thing for millions of people right now struggling. I'm one of them. Like, what is next month going to bring? What's next week going to bring? I don't know. Well, first of all, I have this really cool app. I don't even know the name of it. There's a whole bunch of apps out there. I'm not part of AA or anything right now. Who knows? Maybe in the future. But right now, because of COVID and everything, and me being a shy one, I'm like, can I join your AA Zoom group? Like, no, never gonna happen. So I went the therapy route and just documenting and having a journal and just doing my thing. But there's all these sobriety apps, and anyway, this one tells me I've already saved $4,000, and I've skipped out on over, I think it was like 800 and something drinks the last time I looked. Or yeah, it'll send you like little alerts. I'm like, oh my god, you know how many calories that is? Oh my god. And it actually holds true, because this past January I did a financial analysis on, I was specifically interested in how much I spent on alcohol last year. Not just alcohol, but like going out, And it's really ironic that this all happened, because but anyway, I spent this is just what was documented, like, on my debit card. Not everything else, like cash and like my credit card, or like, maybe someone buying me drinks. So not my overall consumption, but just me using my debit card going out, I spent $12,000. $12,000. That is so embarrassing. Now I know everyone else is different. Oh, and that doesn't even include my Coke habit, because that's all cash. So, sorry, it's nice to be able to laugh about it now, because that is long gone. Well, I guess not long in the grand scheme of things. It was only a few months ago. But I feel like I have been, free. I don't want to say clean, sober. It's weird how I didn't realize how shackled I was, and how my life was dictated by alcohol. Like, every little move I made was, even just driving my truck, like, to let's say I drove right now to my my neighborhood watering hole and grabbed some tacos or something. 6 months ago, when I did that, it was okay. I had to like think, am I going to Uber there? Am I going to walk there? Am I going to hitch a ride there? And then coming back, obviously most of the time I was blacked out, but anyway, this time I have complete control. I have complete control of my finances. I have complete control over my clarity while I'm there, my conversations, how well I play at pool. That's another thing. I'm really curious how I play now that I'm sober. I haven't played. I don't know. A lot of my friends haven't played during COVID, but a lot of us pool players will say, "Oh, I always play my best after 2 or 3." It's like, that's your social anxiety. That's not your skill. Like, how are you gonna? That doesn't even make logical sense. How would you, like? Yeah, you're loosened up, but if anything, you're gonna be more confident after just a couple weeks of sobriety. Like, just. It's not, you're telling yourself that. It's not true. But no, like, I feel so free. Like, it's like, okay, I'm just going to jump in my car and go home now. Like, and I don't have to feel like I'm riding dirty. Like, oh, there's a cop behind me. Oh, shit. And what if I smell like alcohol? All those little things all the time, they add up. And so you're always living in a state of fear. Like, fear or like, you're under some sort of control by something else. And what's shitty is it's not even a person. It's a thing that you're doing to yourself. It's a substance, Anyway, so, but this isn't about whether you have a drinking problem or not. It's just literally the most inconvenient and unhealthy thing. It really is. So there's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits that I've noticed that I wasn't even really looking for. For me, I wasn't specifically looking for. I think most people don't stop drinking because it's just so unbelievably convenient and socially accepted. It's just like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I mean, I'm a bartender, like, so it's like obviously really everywhere for me. But oh, I have a family that drinks, and you know, all my friends drink, and it's just literally everywhere. Every movie you watch, every show you watch, you know, your neighbor's having a barbecue. The smell is everywhere. It's one of those things. It's gonna be everywhere, you know. And that's fine. You know, don't look at. Let's say you do have a big problem, you know, and it's literally controlling you, your every move, and your every thought. It's not permanent, okay? Like, it's a lot easier to stop than you think it is. I think society, for whatever reason, we're conditioned to think that it's you have a mental illness or something. So I think a lot of people don't stop because they don't want people to have that impression like there's something wrong with them. Oh, like I couldn't control my anxiety unless I drank, or you know, I'm in a lot of pain, so I drink. So they just try to keep their cool, you know, and be like everyone else and kind of run with the herd, you know. When really you don't have a problem at all. It's just too convenient. It's really it's the answer for everything. And but right now is the time to really focus on your health. So don't focus on, is there something wrong with me, or is that, am I an alcoholic, am I an addict, am I this or that, or is it really that unhealthy for me? Well, the truth is, yeah, it is unhealthy for you. It's extremely unhealthy for you. I've had a couple of slips since I stopped drinking, and here's how I know that it's unhealthy is just after a couple of years. And here, I used to drink like a lot. Yeah, I'm a binge drinker for sure. I didn't drink every single day, but during quarantine I did, you know, but normally I drink like 4 times a week, but I would drink a lot, and it would take me a day or two to feel back to normal, sometimes 3 days. And then I would drink again. I'm like, oh, I feel back to normal. Stupid. Anyway, so I've had a couple slips, and that's okay. That's totally normal. So that's gonna happen. Like I wasn't one to be like, I'm never drinking again, because I'm just setting myself up for fucking failure. There's gonna be times where I'm challenged, you know, and it's okay, you know. So I allowed myself to have a couple, and let me tell you, my sleep was really, 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 really good. Like, I never thought I would be not a night owl. I've always been a night owl. I never thought I'd be a morning person. But once I stopped, it was like maybe 3, 4, 5 days in, I was having the best sleep. Like, even better than as a kid. Like, just you know that sleep, like when you're camping, or like you had a really good day at the gym or the beach, and you just hit the pillow and it was like that, solid for weeks. Like, I was sleeping so good. And so I'd wake up at like 5:36 in the morning, like, let's go jogging. Like, who is this person? Anyway, so let's say I had a slip. I wouldn't wake up hungover because I only had like 2 beers. But it took me days to feel back to normal, like to get back into having a really good sleep and have a proper, start craving the right foods again. Just bizarre. Anyway, please take my word for it. No, try for yourself. But all the positives, like, people will say all the positive, don't focus on that, because you'll just start to don't look for them, you know, because they're just gonna happen. Like, I promise. It's like almost like a miracle. Like, what? Like, no one told me how cool it was not to drink for a few weeks. It is absolutely the best high I've ever had, and what's cool about it is it's like, it just gets better and better and better. I start to notice, every day I notice something better. Like, oh my God, I am not winded going up the stairs, or I'm not waking up, hacking up along, or I'm actually craving like healthy foods now, or just the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things that I'm noticing are effortless. First of all, I'm not even trying. Like, they're just like, I almost feel like this teenage Stacy's coming out, but in like a good way. Like, all this energy, so much energy, because for a while there, I was feeling uninspired. I mean, at the end, I was just a wreck. I was depressed and low energy, no energy. I felt helpless. I felt worthless. And then my heart palpitations were just through the roof. And the only way to control that was to drink more alcohol. And that's just an endless cycle you end up in. My anxiety, gone. Like, I've had some bouts, but like nothing like before. It was debilitating before. Paralyzing. The amount of fear was just so much greater. I feel like I have control now, even though I'm not making any money. I'm getting more creative, and it's really weird. I feel like I almost have I feel like I have a support system, even though I don't. Like, I just feel like I've got this. Like, if this happens, just do that. If that happens, just do this. You're more solutions driven instead of, and some people are just naturally like that. Fine. But I wasn't before. I would always think of the worst case scenario, and then that was my narrative. Like, okay, this and then guess what? Due to the law of attraction or whatever, it's manifest destiny, or what is it called? Oh gosh, I'm not gonna get stuck on that right now. But anyway, dang it, I'm stuck on it. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you think negatively, that's what's going to happen. If you think positively, then that's more likely going to happen. And then that just comes effortlessly if you're not drinking. It just, and, even if you're not a big drinker and you drink once or twice a week, like I said, even though I had that slip, that knocked off a day or two of me being at my most optimal self, performance. So, if you add that up, that's well over 52 days out of the year that I was not at my best self. So, God, let me tell you, the first month, it's like my subconscious knew I just wasted all this time in my life, so you make up for it. Normally my checklist might have 3 or 4 main things on it for the day. Dishes, wash your car, run to the bank, Target run, mop the floor if it's Saturday, whatever. And then none of those things would get done when I was hungover. None. I'd be so proud if one thing got done. But when my first few weeks of not drinking, it was 10 things, and they were big. I completely got it out my closet and purged it, took things to Goodwill. It was just insane how much, the dog needs a bath. Might as well clean the bathroom now and deep clean it, break out the Pine Sol. It was insane how much energy I had, and just how good. I just felt so good. So it's just, I feel horrible that our society has kind of made being sober a boring thing. It's not at all. I think a lot of people are afraid to stop drinking because they feel like they're going to be sitting there twiddling their thumbs every day. And it's I don't want to go clean out my closet. That sounds horrible. It totally reminds me of that scene in The Breakup when Jennifer Aniston turns to Vince Vaughn and is like, but I want you to want to do the dishes. And he's like, why would I want to do the dishes? That keeps going in my head because now I get it. I do want to do the dishes now, and I figuratively. Because before I was lacking the drive, I was lacking the inspiration, I was lacking everything. So instead of thinking about it that way, I don't want to clean out my closet. I'd rather go to a pool party and drink vodka martinis. Duh. Don't worry about that. It'll come. And then once you do it, it feels so much better than that vodka martini. I'm telling you right now, because it's a compound effect. It's a compounding effect. You'll start to, the reward is just so worth it, and it's never ending. How much cool shit you can do, spending time with family, gardening, spending more time with your pets or your dog, taking better care of your car, just whatever you're into or not even really into, those things will come naturally too. Like, I didn't even know I was into this. And like, boom, there it is. Right now, quarantine is the best time because there's less distractions. You got a social distance. So getting rid of the toxic people will just be like, duh. It'll be so easy. Effortless. Completely effortless. Because for me, like, all my bar friends obviously aren't taking shit personally. Because it's like, no one's at the bar. And even if I wasn't there, if you just ignore their text for a couple times, they just kind of stop. Like, come on, they're not your real friends anyway. And then after a few months, just go have a soda water with lime with them and just talk how, catch up. Fine, who cares? You just saved yourself $12. Yeah, I just feel like I'm gaining momentum on different projects a lot faster. Like, so far, I'm coming up on month 4. So far, I've moved into the place of my dreams, and that was in the first month. Just the first month. Because one of the reasons I fell into like super deep depression was because, my whole world as I knew it was falling apart. I'm not even talking about COVID. Like that was just the icing on the cake. Some trauma happened in January, and then my ex was super supportive then, and then in February I found out the place I was living in, which I loved, was on the market, and so we had to get out. So we were given 30 days notice on February 29th, or was this a leap year? I don't know. February, let's just say 28th, the end of February. I was given my 30-day notice so that, so then St. Patrick's Day, that's when the lockdown happened, and I was planning on making a shit ton of money that day because I had 2 bars to work at on St. Patty's Day, so I was looking at $1,000 that day, hopefully. Worst case scenario, $500 that day. Plus hourly. So then when I find out from both jobs, we're on lockdown now, I was just like, oh, well, I was actually kind of relieved, to be honest, because I was hungover. It was 11 in the morning. I'll never forget. It was 11 in the morning. I had already been up for an hour, but they called at 11 saying, hey, don't worry about coming in at 1 or whatever time it was I was supposed to go in. I was like, what? And she's like, I'll be sending out a mass email soon. A lot of, whatever. So that's the day that it really, really changed. And then my ex hadn't talked to me for a couple of days, and that was like starting to really like, uh-oh, what's going on? Like, am I losing my best friend now? So, trauma, then loss of my best friend, loss of my house, loss of my jobs, and then quarantine. So now I gotta be like alone. I'm not an extrovert. I'm definitely an introvert, but my socializing came from work, so it was kind of like 2 birds with 1 stone gone, that's how I got a lot of social stimulation, was from work. And then after work would have my, nightcap and all that stuff. But, so all those things were lost really quickly. So from mid-March to mid-April, I just hit like really, when I was already not in a very stable mindset. So, it got really, really bad, and I felt completely helpless. So the one thing that I already knew about myself, because I had done it before, I had detoxed before and spent like 40, 50 days sober, I knew that things only go up if you remove alcohol. Just take that away, because you're already helpless. Like, it's a level playing field right now. Everyone knows you're going to be broke. Everyone knows you're going to be depressed. Everyone knows you're going to have anxiety. So everyone was kind of like finally at my level. So it was less self-blame and more like, okay, let's take control back. And the one thing that would give me the one-up is not drinking, because everyone else is. Like, I'm like, oh, now I can be better than everyone else. Just by removing an expensive habit that makes me feel more and more helpless and more anxious. So all I did was and then probably slept for another day or two just to like, because a lot of it's body chemistry. So some people detox by sleeping, some people detox by going to rehab. Everyone has their different things. I'm really big into fresh juice, like juice detoxes. Like it's basically to clean out your system and just pump you full of nutrients. But I ended up doing that, but at first it was just, baby steps. Like, okay, I'm not drinking, so that means I could do whatever I want. I could sleep as long as I want. I could eat whatever I want. I did that first, just because it's like right now it's just focus on not drinking and just filling my life with other things that bring me joy. So, but it's amazing how let's see, I considered May 1st, even though it was the end of April that I stopped drinking, May 1st. By June 1st, I was in this place. Like, that month, it seemed like forever just because time is kind of going by differently for some people. Some it's like way too fast, some it's way too slow. But for me, it just felt like, because there was lots of highs and lows, there wasn't too many, like the lows were like the suspense of like, am I getting this place or not? Or where am I going to get the money from? I cannot even tell you how much ambition and determination that just came out of it just felt like I was cloned. Like I was like, I don't have a job. I didn't have unemployment yet either. I had no income. I had already spent all of my savings from my vacation. Like I had money saved up for vacation. I just scraped whatever I could. I was selling things, like just whatever I could find. I don't even know what I sold. Oh, I sold like a piece of art. I sold, not my own, but like just looking around, what's of any value, like at all, like DVD collection, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I just started doing Postmates and used my cosmetology license to start doing hair on the side, backyard haircuts, like whatever it took. I was so determined. I was doing Postmates 14 hours a day, 14 hours a day. And you know what? I wasn't anxious anymore. I was more like looking at it as like a game, like a challenge. Like I'm going to do this. I'm going to freaking do this. Then they're like, oh, you need a cosigner. You need this, you need that. I'm like, no. I'll give you more money. And so I had to give them double the money. But I made it happen. Like I just made it. I was getting more and more creative, and more inspired. And while that's happening, I was like, drunk Stacy would never figure this out. There's no way. There's no way I'd have the energy, determination, inspiration, clarity, creativity. There's no way. Like I would just been like, oh well, I guess I have to rent a room again, like in some shitty place. That's just 1 month. In 1 month. And then it's been 3 more months and I created the sanctuary. I've been doing a lot of DIY stuff. I got 2 kittens. I've been able to let go of my ex, even though I still consider him a friend and I still want him very much in my life. I've been able to kind of remove him for now because I have a lot of self-growth to do, because alcohol only makes you dwell, even though you might not want to. Logically in your mind, you're like, I don't want to dwell on this. This is stupid. Alcohol, guess what? It'll make you find all the negative in your life, all of it. Even if you drink once a week. It somehow, I don't know what it is, that toxin will just make you dwell on what you can't control. And that's not what we need right now. We need our immune system to be better. We need our health to be optimal. We need to be fit. We need, like, this is a survival of the fittest right now. Right now, we're in a fucking pandemic and you're putting poison in your body. You're not gonna last. Like, you're not. So seriously, look at this as a life or death situation, because it is. And that's how I looked at it. Like, Stacey, like, your depression isn't helping anything. Your alcoholism isn't helping anything. And it seems easier said than done, but it really was fucking easy. Like, it's just like, okay, vodka, bye, I'll see you later. That's how I looked at it. Like, don't look at it as you're quitting forever. Just look at it as, I need to get through this shit. And the only way I'm going to get through this is healthy. And I remember my mom, when I was drinking every day, my mom was like, you gotta stop with your vape. You gotta stop with because you used to smoke for like 20 years and you drink a lot. And I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, like, she's right. But I'm like, okay, yeah, uh-huh. And like, as I'm drinking my cocktail, yeah, okay. It's so much easier to do that than take all your vitamins and whatnot. But some really good advice my therapist gave me was like, have a list of all the people in your life, and then have, and all your bar friends, all the people that, you drink around, and then, have a list of like the good friends, and then a list of like the ones you got to remove for now. Well, quarantine made it really easy because, I love all my friends, but some of them are, let's face it, they're just bar flies like me, and, or, outside of drinking with them, there's really not really anything we do together. I think friends you have healthy hobbies with, keep them around. Just focus on that hobby. Focus on the interest. If you play music together, keep playing music together. If you work on cars, keep doing that. Whatever it is you do. Just remove the alcohol for now. I think that was important for me is just thinking of it as right now it's about getting healthy. It's about refinding your interests. For me, I was all growing up, I consider myself spiritual. That kind of came naturally back into my life. You just feel this unbelievable connection with the universe, and meditation has become meditation's impossible when I drink. Impossible. Like, meditate 10 to 20 minutes a day. I like to meditate an hour, like 3 times a week. That's like my jam. But I didn't do that when I drank. There's no way. It was, no. I can go on and on and on about how beautiful this experience has been. And all I have to say is, like, anyone out there, anyone that is like, should I drink anymore? No, seriously, don't take my word for it. Just stop drinking for a few weeks, and things are just going to start blossoming on their own. Just like things that you might not have even been that stressed out about will just start blossoming effortlessly. Like all these, because we always have stuff on the back burner and then stuff on the front burner that you're working on, like, what am I going to do with my kids and their schooling, or what am I going to do with my mortgage? What am I going to do with what am I going to do's? All of those will start, like, not that they're going to fix themselves, but almost like you'll have like a little assistant back there. Like, what if you just do this? It's like, oh shit. I didn't think of it that way. And you're like, wow, I'm brilliant. Like, I'm pretty fucking smart. Those things will just start clicking, like, really fast. And it's almost like you feel superhuman. And I'm telling you, like, just, and maybe not just alcohol, like any kind of vice or anything that you're, like, maybe some people are addicted to sugar, some people this or that. Everyone has different things. Try to remove that right now, because it is toxic, and right now we need as little toxicity as possible. Whether it's people, relationships, substances, just get rid of it, like, legit. Like, and I'm not saying that to, like, oh, because at first it seems like a punishment. Like, I can't have my, believe me, whatever reward that was giving you, not having it is going to give you 10 times that, like 20 times, 100 times. And document it. It's fun. I talk to myself 3 times a day, and it's really beneficial because I can't afford to see a therapist every day. Oh my God, no way. But there are a lot of, like, apps out there, and like, there's Headspace for meditation. There's different apps for if you need counseling with anything that you're going through. That's another thing. A lot of mental illness issues are coming up right now, and there's, like, our society really is fucked up when it comes to mental illness and mental health, Or I should say that, mental health, because if anxiety is a mental disorder, like, everyone has it. Everyone has some form of that. Like, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder when I was very young, and I've used alcohol as a crutch to get me through that, and I haven't I haven't had any issues with it since I stopped drinking. So like, no matter what level of anxiety you have, I'm telling you right now that just removing alcohol out of the equation, your body's chemistry is going to start working a little differently, and with that, your brain chemistry is going to work better. So, the benefits. There's hundreds and hundreds of benefits of just not drinking. Just don't. It's and I'm not saying that to preach. I'm saying it because it's like, no, you get a way better high being sober than drinking. Like, it's just, there's all the, I'm gonna have to make more videos. I'm inspired. There's a lot of, besides different apps, like I love listening to Joe Rogan. I love listening to anything Tony Robbins. I love using Lillian Eden for guided meditations. I put my earbuds in, I laid out my yoga mat. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people. That's great, but I got addicted to her like 7 years ago because she, there's something about her voice, I feel great with, but there's all these different options. Meditation is awesome because they have different kinds of guided meditation, one for anxiety, one for insomnia, one for, transitional, one for, there's all kinds. But, I've actually become just more and more excited to peel this onion of myself. Just like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to me I didn't even know I had. Wow, 36 minutes. This better be juicy. Anyway, anyway, whether you think you have a problem or not, just don't drink. Quarantine is the best time to stop. It really is. And you'll start to realize why once you stop. Just stop for a little bit. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, am I an alcoholic? Do I have a problem? If you're thinking about it, then it probably shouldn't be in your life in the first place. And don't be like, I'm never drinking again, because that's just setting yourself up for failure. I think there's a lot of people I've found on YouTube too that are just like, I became sober on accident. Like, I just stopped for a challenge and then ended up just seeing how many benefits come from not drinking. So focus on the positive, because there's so much more. There's so much more that I haven't even scratched the surface. So definitely just try to adopt inspirational people, whether it's in person or online. There's so much out there, so much material. And don't just sit around watching movies and Netflix all the time. Go, just try, get out of your comfort zone. It'll awaken a lot of dormant parts of you. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to share this or not. I really don't. I'm all sweaty and gross, and I need to jump in the shower right now. But I wanted to get this out because I was super inspo on my walk. I'm like, I gotta share this. This is just, I feel like I'm alone in a good way. Like, I want, not in a good way. I want more people in this community because it feels so good, and I want to hear about other people's experiences. Because it's like the best. It's almost like, why didn't anyone tell me about this? This is so great. And it's so easy. So don't focus on, I can't have alcohol. Fuck. Yeah, you can. Just stop it. Stop. Stop doing it, because you'll thank yourself. Believe me. Anyway, cheers. Bye.